Amandla. Long live the undying spirit of Reverend Makhenkhesi Stofile. Long live. Long live the undying spirit of our fallen hero. Long live. Amandla. Viva African National Congress. Viva.
Viva ANC. Viva. Watinta Wafazi. Roar, young lions, roar. Viva Bafundisi. Viva. Long live the church. Viva. Long live Nelson Mandela. Long live. Long live Oliver Tambo. Long live. Thank you very much, program directors, to the bereaved family, umama wethu, umambaba, usisnambitha, nabantwana bakaPrastof, and the entire family. Othahla Kandayeni, Ofaku, Nodlangisa, Nodlangamandla, sorry. The confused one DJ Pemi. Comrades and friends, the Deputy President of our country, and all colleagues, ministers present here in our cabinet, comrades, leaders of the African National Congress, Secretary General, Treasurer General, National Chairperson, and all members of the National Executive Committee. Dikhahlele kwinkosi nokumkani ezikhoyo apha namhlanje, all sports people present here today. It is a great honor and privilege, and my singular honor, to stand here, requested by the family, to speak on behalf of the sports movement and fraternity. I want to start by saying to our fallen hero, Comrade Stoff, abantu bakho bonke bakhona apha namhlanje, from Sunrock, NSC to SASCOC, all leaders of the sports movement are present here to say farewell to you. Umfundisi have played his role in sport. When he was called upon to fight the racist regime, he did that with diligence and distinction. When he was asked to negotiate a political settlement and lay the foundation for the unity of sports in South Africa, he did that in his generation with distinction. When he was asked to participate in government and lead sport and lead the Eastern Cape, he did that with distinction. I dare say we are here in the presence of greatness. Silapha namhlanje sizogqala emswandeni sithi mfundisi usebenzile, uwile umthi omkhulu, the great and the big tree of the baobab has fallen. We don't tell lies when we say you have done your duty. You have served your people with distinction. Normally when people are no more, we tend to exaggerate their life, tell lies and things that they did not represent. None of the people I've listened to who have spoken here have told lies about Reverend Makhenkhesi Stofile. Umfundisi ebene mqolo ibingolona ichwaku into enganamva nomphambili. He will say his views, whether we like it or not, he will put them across. When he was reshuffled by the ANC, he did not complain. He called me to the office, and probably I'm one of the few who got a proper handover in government. Normally when you are sacked, ulibala nepaki yakwe office and just leave, because the position was the most important thing. And he sat me down and took me through the challenges of sports and the important policies that must be implemented. He said to me, there are few crooks in sport, but they tend to be exaggerated, and there are many people of goodwill. And you must focus on them and not on the crooks. And he said to me, Mbalula, I'm very happy that the ANC have given you this task, because it has been my mission to get a younger person, an African, to lead this portfolio. And never say at any time, you don't know where to go. I'm always in your corner. And he didn't only say that in words. In our personal conversation, he reduced that in writing and left it with me in the office. He never showed or displayed any signs of bitterness. He said, I've always been here to serve the movement, and I'm prepared to go anywhere to serve the African National Congress. In our politics today, where we believe that a position is more important than the organization, I guess Reverend Stofile will have formed a political party and mobilize people in corners to protest his removal from cabinet. He did not. He settled for a position far away, deployed by the movement in Germany, Munich, to serve our people. And he did that equally with distinction. Bob Marley says, most of us, we are poor because we are rich. With the only thing that we have is money. Prastov did not have money, but he was rich in spirit. But he was rich in spirit. And today, we're implementing the foundation and the policies that they've designed as a sports movement in the country. When we talk about transformation, we don't talk about a fashionable term. It is something that was conceptualized long before in the unity talks in South Africa. Umfundisi, they met and agreed that kufuneka kube nenguqu kwezemidlalo, that an African black child, the playing field must be leveled. I come to send a life favor to play for rugby or for cricket. We equally can perform and produce the results. And the only important thing is that there must be willingness and there must be policies to accelerate transformation in sport. And that is what we are doing today within the sports movement. And I want to say, Mfundis, we are indeed implementing some of the policies you and your generation have actually designed. Asijiki, asibuyi mva, siyawaleka ababantu ababangafuni nguqu kwezemidlalo. And we say to them, time is now to transform sport for better in South Africa. If you don't want to, we will push you and ensure that we implement policies that will ensure that there is transformation in South Africa. Today we are making headways in sport. Mfundisi led the struggle to ensure that Caster Semenya's dignity is defended. And I'm happy to announce, Mfundisi, wherever you are, on your deathbed, Caster Semenya won us a gold medal in Rio Olympics. Wade van Niekerk won us a gold medal in a broken record. Broken the world record in the Rio Olympics. Nothing compared to anybody in the history of South Africa. We are making strides. For the first time in South Africa, we brought 10 medals from the Rio Olympics. And yonke lonto yimisebenzi kaMfundisi and his generation. So we salute you, we salute your generation, and we say farewell, knowing very well that you have done your duty to ensure that sport in South Africa is accessible to all, and every child in our country has an opportunity to participate. I just want to say, because the heated topic is about the plurality of the ideas and what you represented. And I'm not shocked to hear from comrades who had an opportunity to interact with you how you feel about us today. But being an ANC and the organization that I belong to, the ANC embraced the principle of progressive dissent and the plurality of ideas within the organization. Criticism and self-criticism has been the critical principle that have guided our movement over the years. I'm not qualified, nor am I a recipient of the news directed to the leadership of the ANC today. I am here on behalf of government and the sports movement. The leadership of the African National Congress is here, and if not here, it is listening. And that is what is important. I'm not an opportunist. I will never stand here and criticize the decisions that I've been part of. I'm part of that criticism. What you are criticizing of our leadership, I'm part of it. And I'm saying a self-respecting organization listens to its members and its constituency. And that is what is important. In the ANC, it has become fashionable when people express in a disciplined way their views. Bakhonjwa ngomnyango, bayagxothwa. Komntu ekufuneka agxothwe embuthweni. Masiwavela amaqabane kuthathini. Because asibafuni bethetha pha. Xa bathetha ngomfundisi akho mntu uzawuthetha ubuxoki, uthetha le nto uReverend Stofile beyiyo. Ndimazi mna lo ngqo. Kuthi umfundisi, this is who he was and what he stood for. And I believe that our movement, the African National Congress, will have learned that our enemies will not be generous with us. Our opponents will equally not be generous with us. Our policies have not failed. But what is important is that behind those policies, who are the human beings and the warm bodies that are given the task to implement those policies? Comrades, We must not, in our criticism, forget that our enemies will never celebrate our criticism with us. The ANC must live. The ANC is the organization of the people, and that its hope is with the people. For what you criticize is what we must listen and absorb. But we must not bury our organization. Equally, leadership must listen and not bury its head in the sand and say that those who criticize and behave like as if it is business as usual. At any given point in time, revolutions have been tested and have been lost. And that is what we told our comrades in Pretoria, in Tshwane. We told our comrades in Nelson Mandela. When you say that if I'm not made a mayor at all costs, no Mbalula, no vote, what do you mean? And this is what we got. No Mbalula, no vote is there in Pretoria, is there in Nelson Mandela Bay. And this is what is important for our organization, to equally observe when we go forward, to understand that the masses of our people are not merely voting cattle. They too can be contested and be influenced. And it is important that we must fight for them not to be captured. And for us to do that, we must live up to their expectations. And I'm saying, comrades, we've got a mammoth of task. I've got no such locus standi to speak on behalf of the African National Congress. But because this is a platform of reflections in the true spirit of the person who lies here, I think I will be given an opportunity to also share my perspective. And I'm saying that in sharing that particular perspective, it is important to observe equally our subjective weaknesses that can cause a revolution. And it is important when the ANC does so, the strategic initiative and the terrain is not dictated to us by our opponents and the counter-revolution. What do I mean by that? The ANC must occupy as its prerequisite to deploy and recall its own deployees. If the ANC were to recall anybody, it must be the dictate of the African National Congress. Not because the opposition have said that and have occupied the moral high ground on our behalf. It must be the decision of the African National Congress. And the ANC must take that decision informed, not simply because of the fact that we ourselves, we were not in a position to be alive to the reality that faced the organization at that given point in time. And I'm happy the comrades who speak here today are not in any structure of the organization. And I will not look at them in a negative sense that bathetha into engekhoyo. And as a leader, uthatha lo mphako sibuyele nawo emva. Thethe kabuhlungu uBhutsipho. Ubethe ndava kabuhlungu ezimbambeni. Ngava ukuthi uyatsho kakuhle. Andikuvalanga entweni ndikuve ngendlebe ezam zimbini ukuthi uthini. Ubungangingizi ubungateketi ubutsho kakuhle. Ndikuvile ukuthi ubusithini. Andinawuthi xa ndiphuma abandithi ndimvanga uSipho Pityana besithini. Ayilo khansela ke uSipho Pityana. Ayiyo meya, ayiyo minister, uyazithethela nje emncwabeni kaStof ukuthi uBrastof ebesithini. Asivile loo nto kuyitsho. Abendingekho umfundisi xa kathethe izinto eKapa nalapha sisinambitha. Uyandazi ke sawusoloke sigcwele yonke indawo. Ithe xa ndibuya eBrazil kusithiwa umfundisi usishile okanye uyagula. Ndafonela uSG. uSG wathi ndithumele itayi ezimbini ze-ANC ngomso ndiyanyuka. Besikuyi-election door to door. Bekunzima. Ndithi nxe uba mhlawumbe kunothiwa hayi asikange siye kumfundisi siyombona. Abanye bethu besingazi. Nditsho ne-phone call akange siyifumane. Uyabona umuntu xa sekegula egulela ukufa. Mamelan, umntu xa sekegula egulela ukufa, dignity goes with the family. You wouldn't rush to go and actually you give that peace, but it happened so fast. Kwathiwa umfundisi uyagula, in 1 month, in less than a month, he was no more. And when we came back from Brazil on Monday, kwathiwa uphumile esibhedlele. I was called by Graham Abrams, and I was also with Gideon Sam. We spoke about it. That when we went to visit the athletes, umfundisi uyagula, president. Wathi let's go to Gayo, let's go and see him at the hospital. On our way back, coming back home, umfundisi was gone. And I think in that sense, when we came to the family to pass our condolences, and we saw Usis Nambita Nabandwan, and they explained the ordeal, I will say, Tafa Usebenzi. And the fact that you were able to gather your family and say, release me, they wouldn't baba ukufa akukheleki, especially to somebody that you loved. We may say that you released him, but the pain of having a father and being taken away by death is not an easy one. And ngaloma azwi sikhala nani, we are with you. He was one person who served our organization and our sporting fraternity with diligence. Umfundisi, when he passed on, he was the vice president of the World Anti-Doping Agency, of which we elected him in Johannesburg. But the sports movement did not end there. At the sports awards, the sports movement decided that we must honor Umfundisi with the Steve Tshwete Lifetime Achievement Award. Because to us, it is about memory against forgetting. We cannot forget Umfundisi and his generation for what they did for sport and for our liberation in this country. For all other things that you have said, they remain with us. Asizukwazi utshonisa inhloko zethu emngxunyeni. Kuzafuneka sivele and attend the challenges that we are faced with. Thank you, family, for giving us the opportunity to be here today and ask us to represent the fraternity of sport. It's been an honor. But I know that in our midst here, there are many people who can speak about Umfundisi and his role in sport, more than what we can do. We are simply chosen by history to be here at this point in time. Thank you very much, Program Director. Thank you very much. Siyabulela. Enkosi.